Alright, so today I'm going to just kind of go over my kayak setup. I typically use my Jackson Cuda 14. I've had a lot of people lately ask me, how I have it set up, what kayak's good for them, what my recommendations would be, but just like everybody else says, I recommend try before you buy. I'm just going to kind of go over what how I set my kayak up, and a lot of this stuff is not my original. These are ideas from other people, and I just kind of use what works for me. So we'll start back here in the back. I do have a rudder on my Cuda. I typically use this when drifting or paddling to and from the location, but once I'm in an area in which I want to fish, I typically don't use it. A lot of times it's too shallow where I'm fishing and things like that. So in the back hatch here, I typically don't use that much, just because it's back there a ways, and I don't use it much. Going up here, I have my my crate. What I did is I just took some 1.5 inch PVC, 4 of them, zip tied them to the corners for rod holders and a net holder. I typically carry 3 rods, so I put one in each corner, so one would hold the net. I'm right-handed, so it's easy for me to grab with my right hand the net. The 3 rods that I typically carry, if I'm throwing soft plastics, a little light action rod, just for the feel. I have my spinning rod with a little medium heavy rod, and spinning reel that I use for pop and cork mostly. And then I have a heavier medium heavy rod that I use for the wake baits and top waters, just to help drive those hooks in when you get a strike. Now in my crate, I don't carry much. Basically just a stringer, a grind stringer, an extra anchor, and then a few boxes, one with top waters, one with some bugs lures, and then one with the wake baits. Moving up here, I just typically carry a cooler. Cooler holds drinks, snacks, things like that. You want to make sure that you're hydrated and have something to snack on when you're out there. You use a lot of energy paddling these things, and especially if you get in skinny water and have to pole, like I like to do, and what I'm doing mostly. Up here, I like the Jackson Cuda because it has the high-low adjustable seat. Right now the seat is in the high position. I like this position because you get a better, you can see more, you're higher up, but typically if it's windy, I will be in the low position. It is very easy to stand out of the high position here, so I like to be up high when it's less windy or if I'm in a protected area. But as you can see, you just adjust here, and then the seat pretty easily will go into the low position, and it's pretty good there. I keep my gulp there just because it's easy to get to, and it's stinky, and I don't want to get it in any of my other stuff, so I typically carry a container of gulp there. Here I have my Stakeout Stick, and I have the anchor trolley on the left side because the rudder pull is on the right side. So a lot of times I like to just stick the stick through the anchor trolley itself, and not necessarily use the anchor trolley and go back and forth. If I'm trying to stake out, it's just because I don't want to move for that second. I'm typically moving and not just anchored up fishing in one area. As we move up here, I always carry a check stick. I did cut mine right at the 30-inch mark, and the reason I cut it there is because it still has the hole, as you can see. So if you wanted to tie some type of flotation device so you don't lose it if it falls in the water or you do turtle, I always keep that. And then in the center hatch, I typically just keep my soft plastics, and just any kind of extra swivels, leader line, anything like that I may need. you know, chicken boy lures, the sand eels, matrix shad. Those are my go-to soft plastics, and I like to keep them in the center console there. Moving up front in the center hatch, and then the front hatch, all I typically use this for my drift anchor. My drift sock, I don't use it much, but it does come in handy on windy days if you're in open water and you want to drift an area, slicks, things of that nature. So it's pretty good. I do have a Warner hook, Shuna hook paddle that I got. That's the second most expensive thing, in my opinion, that you should buy with the kayak, because that is your motor, and a good paddle goes a long ways and makes kayaking a lot easier. Basically that's it. And underneath the seat I do keep just a pair of scissors and my pliers, and then last but not least your PFD, which is by far the most important thing on the water for safety. Again, none of these are just my original ideas. A lot of this stuff I got got from other people, and just like I said, I just use what works for me. For my cameras, I have the GoPro here, and all I did there was, again, I just screwed up a piece of PVC, 1-inch PVC there, and I use that for video behind me. The Cuda is nice because it comes with a GoPro attachment there in the front, and I use that. And then also I like to put one on my visor or my cap if I'm out wading or out, you know, just for a different angle. One thing that it did come in handy one time when I didn't think I'd ever need it, I tie a piece of rope to my strap that helps you stand if you need it. But the reason I did this is if you have to pull your kayak through some mud, it's a lot easier to pull it from the front. So I just grab the string and I go out front, and I can pull the kayak behind me, which makes it a lot easier if you have to pull the kayak out of or through some mud. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, shoot me a message, and I'll be glad to help answer anything I can. Again, I'm not a pro. I'm a weekend warrior, but these things are the things that work for me, and hope maybe some of them work for you.